references or experiences that once stored will have that individual aware of these references regardless of how many millions of lifetimes ago the experience was stored. And so it's quite easy to determine the extent or range of an individual's plethora of lifetime experience based on what they are able to accept, what they are aware of, without necessarily having experienced it in their current lifetime. This is why individuals need masses of experience from every corner of creation, from every viewpoint and position, alien species and civilization and circumstance. For this allows awareness then, awareness on a rudimentary level perhaps, but awareness more than the individual who hasn't had such an array of experience. What would possibly limit an individual's scope of experience would be one of two things. Either this individual stands in the very early stages of the epochs, the golden age perhaps, after a reset, or as a new U-tune just coming in, and has not collated much by way of experience yet, or an individual who has, by their life choices and decisions, restricted themselves to a far more limited array of life positions, that less experience is attained. For as we stand in the Iron Epoch, everyone at this final epoch must have had millions of lifetimes, and yet some individuals have no awareness of anything beyond that which their physical senses tell them, and some have more awareness, even though in their current lifetime it is still awareness beyond that which their physical senses have told them. So I would suggest that those individuals who are more aware, who accept the reptilians as an example, as a reality, must have had life positions or experiences that involved the reptilians. Yes, they may have no conscious recollection of past reptilian experiences, but it is still stored in their causal memory body, and the reference remains, and when confronted with information that they cannot physically see, or haven't experienced in this lifetime, they still accept it as fact. They are aware of it. Awareness then is perhaps dependent upon experience, quite possibly. You cannot be aware of anything unless you have experienced it, and we can see then the value of these experiences, even if not for comparison and recognition of the is purposes, but that the sheer mass of experience, and the more varied the better, has us able to accept and be aware of what is happening on our planet, even as the controllers try to keep it secret and bombard our literal senses with the version of the world they wish us to accept. For everything is a step in the direction of ultimately standing with the ears and superseding creation. But we must take the journey a step at a time. First comes the endless experiences in creation, and after we have amassed quite the store of files in our causal vehicles, we can accept more of what is beyond our literal senses, for at this point the literal senses are all we rely upon. Now we can be aware of more than what we have experienced, but in fact we are just refamiliarizing ourselves with that which we have already experienced. But it is an indication that those who accept the possibility of reptilians, aliens, and the controller's agenda have had enough experience and are ready for further steps into the unknown. Those who dismiss everything as conspiracy, well, they simply must lack possibly the references to draw upon, the past experiences that have them able to acknowledge more than what they have experienced personally this lifetime. But we can see many are ready for further steps. In keeping with the notion of experience being that which allows awareness, if the next step has us connecting with the ears through the new you song, and life and the real guides begin to provide us experiences beyond the physical, on the real side and throughout creation and into the real universes, then this is where the experience now comes from. Not everyone will remember their real side dreams, but nevertheless they are having them, and as they are becoming increasingly aware, if indeed they continue with their intent and the process, we can see that this proves they are having experiences as their awareness of life levels, the acceptance of that beyond the physical level, continues to expand. Even certain references and concepts pertaining to the ears may not be readily or easily grasped, and yet, as moments go by, what was once a little vague can become known to us, like a eureka moment, as we finally grasp a concept that had eluded us. It's likely the experiences we have had with the guides have allowed further our grasp of some of the references, the knowing, the recognition of them. We can say our awareness expands, our awareness of creation, the real universes, and the concepts and references pertaining to them, in accordance with experience that we have, courtesy of the real guides. At this point we switch the reference from awareness to real awareness, as what we are becoming aware of is far more real than before. We could perhaps refer to anything that is beyond the limited scope of our literal senses, the awareness we have that stems from only our 5 senses, as real awareness. And so, real awareness is the awareness we have that is beyond the literal self. Interestingly, we might surmise then that awareness only pertains to creation, as it is the unfolding of our awareness to our real awareness that is based on the experiences that we have in creation. If we were to be with the ears, if we have superseded creation, then everything is, and from that position it isn't as much an awareness as a being isness. We needed awareness. We required that we become ever more aware of creation through experience, and aware of the real universes, an increasing, expanding awareness that eventually has us recognizing how to be with the ease. At this moment, we are utilizing all our experiences throughout creation as comparisons to better recognize the ease. And the more experiences we have, the more awareness we are afforded, as it isn't so much that we are seeing something new, that we are becoming aware of something we never have experienced before. We are in fact becoming aware of what we already are, what we already is, because we have our 5 vehicles throughout creation, and our real self with the ease, even if we don't recognize this, even if we aren't aware of it. And so, as much as previous experiences in past lifetimes allows us to be aware of that which we have not experienced in our current lifetimes, it may not be so much that we are having experiences in the higher life levels and the real universes that facilitate our awareness of them, but that we are moving into a state of gradual being-isness in which we already are, and are having these experiences we seek to have. From our more limited view, they appear to be experiences running in a linear sequence that allows our awareness and recognition of the ease, but we could more so endeavour to view from the perspective of the guides, or the ease. From this position, everything is, and we can take everything ever, all our experiences and process of awareness, and all of that would exist simultaneously with absolutely everything else in each single new nowness moment. From here, what would be awareness, being aware of the position you are standing in perhaps, but maybe more so just being, a completeness with the ease. Awareness would almost suggest knowing of something outside of oneself. To be aware of something must have a distinction between that which we are aware of and that which is having the awareness of it. From here we can surmise that awareness maybe stops at creation, and maybe does not apply to the is. For there we are being isness, and there can be no distinction, no separation therefore. Awareness is then as discarded as the creational vehicles we once required to garner experience, and the gradual awareness of the is through comparative recognition.